This video demonstrates how to use the Maptitude Display Manager to change the contents, styles, and labels in a map. The Display Manager lists all of the layers in a map and indicates in this column whether a layer is currently visible with this symbol, enabled but not visible at this scale with this symbol, or always hidden with this symbol. You can hide a visible layer by simply clicking the symbol. For example, I will hide the county and highway layers. You can also show a layer that is auto-scaled off. For example, the water areas in this map are not visible at this scale. If I click the auto-scale symbol, Maptitude changes the water area layer to be visible at all scales. If I right-click on this layer, I can click Restore Show Hide to turn the auto-scaling back on. The Display Manager also indicates the status of the labels in this column, and lets you change the label settings by clicking the label icon next to the item that you want to change. For example, let me change the state labels by clicking the label symbol, and I'll stretch the labels, make them larger, and change their color. Notice now that the state labels are updated with the changes that I just made. The Display Manager shows the style for each layer in this column and lets you change the style by clicking on the style sample next to the item that you want to change. For example, I will change the style of the state layer by clicking here. I'll make the border a little wider, the color a little darker, and again, Maptitude redraws the map with the changes that I just made. You can expand the layer sections to see the status of any selection set, feature display setting, or theme. You change the display status, labels, and styles of selection sets the same way as for layers. For example, I'll change the symbol for the capital selection set to this star and click OK. Washington and Annapolis are both in this selection set, and you can see that they both have the new style. I can also make a selection set inactive or hidden by clicking this symbol. The Washington and Annapolis records are still in the capital selection set, but this symbol indicates that the selection sets are inactive and no longer highlighted on the map. You can also make the same types of changes to the feature display settings. For example, Washington and Baltimore are both in this feature display because their populations are over 500,000. If I change the labels for this feature set, the labels for Washington, Baltimore, and all other cities over 500,000 will be updated. Finally, you can also change the style of any of the theme items. For example, this map has a color theme on the census tract layer. So if I expand the census tracts and themes, you can see the colors used by the theme. I'm going to click this style sample, change its color to light green, and click OK. Maptitude redraws the map with the updated theme. And that wraps up this tutorial on using the Display Manager.